So today I wanted to just take a minute to calm down before I inevitably have to clean my house and lesson plan, and I decided I wanted to make myself a scarf. I made scarves for all my classmates for Christmas, and I didn't make myself one, so now I'm going to sit here, be the resident grandma booktuber, and knit a scarf. Nemo is also here, because he loves me. So I haven't done this tag before, which is kind of funny considering I have been on Booktube for a year and a half. So I'm not technically a newbie, but I haven't done this tag. It was originally created by Brenda C. I'll try to tag it in the description, but if I don't, it's because I forgot. Another thing, you might not be able to see a lot of me knitting in this video, but what you do see, do not judge. I will take absolutely zero criticism on how I knit. I have been knitting for 10 years, and it has been this bad the whole time, and it will not be getting better, thank you. Alright, I've got my counter started, so let's go. First question, why'd you start this channel? So I started this channel because I got into watching Booktube on the recommendation of my best friend Gina when I was organizing the shelves you see behind me, when I started working on my library. Because it was really nice to listen to people talk about books while I was organizing my books. It is mainly so I can talk about books with Gina, because she lives across the state, and I want to be able to talk about the things I'm reading and listen to what she's reading and see what other people are reading. It had the added bonus of being really good teaching practice. I got feedback from my instructor after this year of remote learning. I had to record myself doing asynchronous lessons. So I did a lesson on poetry, I did a lesson on foreshadowing, and I did a lesson on, I know I did typecast. So my teacher's feedback was always very like, oh, you seem so confident on the camera. I was like, great. This has worked out really well to make me confident speaking out loud about book-related things. So I try to keep that in mind when I am recording, that I need to practice as if I'm talking to students. So that's been really nice the past semester to help me. This Booktube channel is good teaching practice. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Completely sporadic upload schedules and unique school-related meltdowns. I can also give you backlog content that no one wanted. I feel like this question is, I get it, I really do, but it always makes the people answering it sound like I'm not like other girls. Like I'm not like other booktubers. I'm going to talk about this thing, and my opinions are so different. And like, they're not. We're all going to talk about the same 20 YA novels. We're all going to start drama on Twitter, and then we're all going to forget about it in a week. Like, that's what I've learned at Booktube. So I can't really offer you anything new unless you want to watch a, like, almost 30-something-year-old grandma, like, talk about her English classes. That's about the only proper new content I can offer. What are you most excited about for this new channel? Well, again, this year-and-a-half-old channel. I just really enjoy policing myself into making sure I produce content. At least, like, every semester, like one video or so. But it's giving me the opportunity to talk concisely about books that I read, which again is a skill that I didn't possess. I do like to ramble, and I know that I can do that sometimes in a classroom, but for the most part, students aren't going to want to listen to me like blather on about a book for a long time. So it's good to go ahead and summarize as best I can and move on. Why do you love reading? So I am fascinated with storytelling. I like knowing the how and the why of emotional connection to reading. I think that is fascinating. I think that's why some of my favorite books are about stories and about telling tales to people. I appreciate that people can get so emotionally invested in the arrangement of letters. Like, isn't that fascinating to you? Isn't that what reading is so fun? Like, someone can put words on a page in a certain order, and we cry about it. There's power in that. Like, that's magical. I don't necessarily go into worlds like people say they do. I don't like get very invested in the book. I think it's because I focus so much on the craft sometimes that I'm like, oh, this writing is really good. But I like that too. When that can happen, when I can read a book and it sort of takes me away for a while, that's pretty nice. What questions would you ask your fave booktubers? None. I am a potato, and I will not be bothering them with my questions. Maybe if I had one question, it would be, how do you find the time? I know some of my favorite booktubers have full-time jobs, they have families, they also go to school, and my question is just, how, my dude? I I forget to upload one week, and I feel bad for days, and I get maybe 10 views on things. I can't imagine the pressure of having like thousands of people waiting for your uploads. Like, how do you manage to distance yourself from your social presence, I guess? What challenges starting a booktube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? Okay, school. Like I just mentioned, I don't understand how you manage real life and booktube. The time to film isn't so bad. I'm already reading, but editing drives me nuts. And also, I'm a very socially anxious person. I remember being in class a couple semesters ago, and this girl said, like, if you have social anxiety, why even bother teaching? And I thought, okay, guess I'll just leave and change my major then. Because, I mean, I still enjoy teaching. I still enjoy talking about stuff. I'm just anxious about it the whole time. So I don't reach out socially. So I'm not necessarily going to grow this channel because of my effort. But that was never the intent anyway. Again, the intent was to talk to Gina about books and learn how to teach remotely. So my social skills and my ability to manage different tasks is probably the main things I'll have to overcome. That and the books that I read. I've learned this over the past year. I don't have to read new releases. And I don't have to read YA if I don't like it. And to be honest, I really don't. Like, I'm not seeking that stuff out to read for fun. And it's been nice to realize that that's not a challenge that I have to undertake, you know? When did you start reading? At least kindergarten, I guess. No, I was always a very, like, efficient reader. Like, I always really liked reading and liked doing it very quickly. My parents read to me when I was a kid, and so I just one day decided I was tired of being read to. I'd like to also read the book, and so they taught me how to read, and I knew how to read going into kindergarten. First grade, they had to go get books from upper grades to help me. I remember getting in trouble for reading books that were supposedly above my grade level until my mom had to tell them, like, she can't read her grade level. That's too low for her. And I've just read my entire life. I used to read books walking to and from class, and people would be like, how do you not hit anything? I'm like, I've gotten really good at peripheral vision reading. But I've just always, like, liked reading. It's, as I got older, I realized more or less what I like, and so I'm not just reading because the book exists. I'm reading because I sought it out. Where do you read? Everywhere. Someone asked me that question in like a class as like a get to know you thing. I have my Kindle in my pocketbook. I have audiobooks on my phone. I have physical books usually also in my pocketbook. I am prepared to read at any time, any method. And I will read in a little while on an audiobook while I clean because I'm a multitasker. What kind of books do you like to read? Well, like I've already said, I don't necessarily like YA, and I don't really necessarily like YA contemporary. I'm not a huge fantasy reader. I mean, the fantasies that I have read and like, I really like, but I don't seek out fantasy because my brain does not like heavy expositional world building at the very beginning of a novel, and fantasies almost always have to have that because they can't just throw you in. You know, you have to understand how the magic works, or, you know, what the politics of the fairy court are, and I can't, it bores me so bad. It bores me so bad. And what's really funny is two of my favorite authors, Margaret Atwood and Stephen King, both do that. They are very slow world builders at the very beginning of a novel, and if you can get past like that first third, the books are great, but sometimes I really struggle to get into their books because of that world building. I like classics. I really appreciate older books that I can tell were crafted with a lot of love and they were written with intent. I wish I read more of them. I'm a big horror fan. That's about the only venue I can enjoy horror is written, because I can't watch scary movies without having seen like background information on it, or watching it in a group, or watching it with a lot of lights on. So I really enjoy horror novels. I don't read a lot of thrillers, and I don't read a lot of romance. I like romance in my books. I really appreciate when something can span multiple genres, but I don't go out of my way to read romance novels because I feel like they get really bogged down by the monotony of their plot, and I know what's going to happen, and it follows that perfect formula, and I just can't stand it. So put my romance in a horror novel, I'm sold. That will make my day. That's all the questions. If you have any other book-related questions you'd like to ask, feel free, because I'm just chilling. I'm going to knit for a little while longer, and I'm actually going to put an audiobook on these headphones so I can listen to a book while I knit. And yeah, this has just been a little chill video where you get to know me a little bit more. And I get to finally answer some questions I probably should have answered at the very beginning creation of this channel. But yeah, just going to hang out and knit now. Have a good day.